Really pleased with the work we've been doing. Really pleased with the players' attitudes. Pleased with how they're taking on board, what we're trying to implement. And pleased with the fitness, because they're looking sharp and they're looking fit. So yeah, it's been okay.
It's all about peaking at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, obviously everything was geared, right from the start was gearing for the first game, the 3rd of August, and now we're a couple of days away. It's we're ready for it.
You've added a couple of young players to the squad this week. Rhys Williams was first up. Let's talk about him first. Tell us a bit about him.
Yeah, Rhys is the player obviously I know through through the academies. I've known him from Liverpool. He's a player that they think highly of. And to be fair, when I knew he was available, they contacted me, to be fair, and mentioned would we be interested in trying to develop him, because they feel this is the part that he lacks with with his football and his development, because they don't really play for real, if you like, in the academy football, and they want him to be exposed to it. He's a very good player. He's good in stature. He's just young and he's learning, so we're delighted to have him, and we're delighted. We thank Liverpool for that, because there's a lot of other clubs would have liked to have him, but they're trusting us with his development, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's quite a feather in the cap, actually, a club like Liverpool.
Yeah, that's obviously I've got, I know people that I've got a friend who works there, and I get on really well with everybody who run the academy. So it's one where hopefully it's the start of many. I'd like the relationship with them, and hopefully they'll like the relationship that we have, as long as we can show an improvement in Rhys, and I'm sure they will, and I'm sure it'll be a big asset for us.
Not specifically with Rhys, but you've obviously been in the game a while now. When you bring a player in from a top club like Liverpool, does it usually come with conditions they've got to play regularly in the first team, or are they just happy for you to develop as you see fit? How does that work?
Well, no, they obviously they'd like him to play, but they're trusting my judgment. One of the things that they say is obviously they'll trust my judgment, and over the years I've helped to put a few centre backs in the showroom, if you like. Wes Morgan being one, Harry Maguire being another, Michael Dawson, Lascelles at Newcastle. So I think I kind of know what a centre half looks like. So they're happy with my judgment. I haven't brought him in because I don't want him to play. I brought him in because I want him to play, and I think he can play. But obviously, we know what football's like, and I have to think about him. And sometimes with young players, you have to know when to take them out, and you have to know whether to just keep going and let them get through it. And that would be a judgment which I'll look at, and they'll trust me on.
And you alluded to this, really. There comes a time, the academy system is great, don't get me wrong, but there comes a time when they need first team football, meaningful football. Right?
Yeah, they need to play for real, and a lot of the academy football, and I went up and spoke to them, a lot of the academy football is based around the technical side of it, but the art of defending is slowly going out of the game, and the heading and tracking runners and cover and balance. Well, in this league we'll end up with playing against teams that are a little bit more direct, or a lot more direct than academy teams, and playing for real, and it's the playing for real that a lot of these young players now need.
The other area in which it's strengthened is with the goalkeeper.
Yes, delighted that we've done that. He was always our number one choice. We were unlucky because obviously we brought him in early on in pre-season, because we recognised and that he was going to be the one for us that we needed. Unfortunately, the goalkeeper got injured at Shrewsbury, so we had to go back. But thankfully for us, it wasn't as bad as first thought. So we've got him back in now, and he's with us now, and hopefully he'll stay with us now, and see how that progresses.
And he's very highly thought of at Shrewsbury, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I spoke to a lot of people about him beforehand. I spoke to Matt Murray about him. Obviously, Matt's been a goalkeeper and knows a lot of the goalkeepers, and he gave him a real good endorsement. So, yeah, he was one that we wanted. I like the goalkeepers to look a certain way, like him, stature, And I also think in this league it's important that you have a goalkeeper who is commanding in his box, and he's shown that he can do that. Now, when we start playing and he's under pressure, then that's different again. So, but that again, that is the development of that's where we are. That's kind of the market we're in. But I'm all right with it. He's one we wanted. I think you've seen the games that he's played in the pre-season. He's made good saves. He kicks it well. He's demanding, and the main thing, the players feel safe with him behind them, and that's really important as a fellow defender. That's important to have a goalkeeper who you have trust in.
Is that it now in terms of recruitment before the kick-off, as it were?
Well, yes and no. We're still ongoing with one or two things. We're in the lap of obviously other people, but at the moment we're still working on it. So that, I could say yes or no really, because if something changes tomorrow, we'll have another body in. So it's just the parent club again. We're waiting on what they do. It's like everybody not panics, but everybody wants to be right for the start of the season. So everyone's a bit cautious. They want a lot of bodies round. Not everyone can play in the team. So you might find in a week or 2 weeks time, when it starts to settle down and people know actually my team's okay or my squad's okay, then people will start getting shifted around again. And I think that's probably where we are at the moment.
Yeah, the reason for asking, really, you're happy you've got enough in numbers, because of course it's a frantic programme. The first 2 months, I think you play about a third of the league games.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's well, it is what it is. Arguably, I would have liked 1 or 2 more, but obviously I have a financial budget to work to. It is what it is. I'm not going to cry over it. It's things are a little bit tight. So what we've got to do is just be smart. And but I don't want to just bring bodies in for the sake of bringing bodies in. I want to bring bodies in that's going to make a difference to our team. And I said that right from the start.
Are you happy the budget is competitive?
Yes. It's competitive for where we are. So I don't worry too much about it. We've got players in the 23s who a few of them, they're not quite ready, but we've had a real good look at them. But when you play them all together, which we had to do in pre-season, the results have probably highlighted big frailties in them all together. But if I only need 1 or 2 with the first team squad, that's different, because I'm not exposing them like I've exposed. I needed to expose them because I need to know where they are. So, and I weren't going to play all the players in all the games in pre-season. I had 11 players. So I wanted to fast track what we were doing with the first team and what we're doing with the 23s, and I think we've done that. And they look, the 23s look, certainly look all right in the training we've had. It would be a big ask if I had to chuck 4 or 5 or 6 of them in at once. But having to call on 1 or 2 if I needed to, I'll be okay with that.
Leamington up first then, and I suppose as far as the squad are concerned, after a long pre-season, just keen to get on with it now.
Yeah, they are. They were good this morning. Obviously, we've done our homework on them. We know what they are. It'll be a tough game, but they always are. Don't matter who playing. Everybody wants to do well the first game. Everybody wants to win the league. Before the first game of the season as best they can, and they're no different, and we're no different. What we've got to do is do what we're good at and what we've been showing. And I thought against Wolves, though it don't matter who they play or didn't play, that's the best we looked because of a lot of things coming together. We looked fit, we passed the ball well, we looked hungry when we lost the ball, we created chances, which is what I want. I want us to create chances, and I want my strikers to score goals. And that's why I give Chamberlain the number 9 shirt, because I want him to have the responsibility of being the number 9. You can hide behind the number 10. I want him to be the 9, the focal point. Everybody knows he's a striker, and he's going to get judged by scoring goals. And he's been great, and he's accepted the responsibility.
And finally, obviously, we're all hoping Harriers are going to be up there this season. You've had a look around the league, no doubt. You know the level very well. Who do you see as being the likely contenders at the top?
Well, I just think obviously teams are strong. So there's teams. You look at Blythe, they're going to be strong. Spennymoor the same. Chester, arguably, although they've had a little bit of up and down of pre-season, but you could say that about us. But I just think you just never know, because when you start to play and people see how you play, or we look at how other people play, everybody starts to tweak with what they're doing. So every game becomes a little bit more difficult, because the teams that get beat, people speak and go, what did you do? We need to tighten up this, or what did you do there, or what? So everybody talks. So the games get harder and harder and harder. So I'm not really interested who we play against. I'm really interested is we're competitive and we do what we're good at. And if we do what we're good at, we'll be a match for anyone.
You've gone for Cliff Moyer as the club captain. What was the reason behind your thinking there?
Yeah, well, a few reasons really. One, I wanted the change. I think the players were ready for the change. I think Jimmy's done a great job, and I've spoken to Jimmy before this, and Jimmy, to be fair to Jimmy, was all for it. I wanted to take the pressure off Jimmy, because obviously Jimmy's, he's an older player now and he needs to manage himself, and I said to him, I just want you to concentrate on you and not anything else. And the lads, they have a respect for Cliff. They've seen what he's done in training. He's good to speak to. He's quite an intelligent boy, and I don't see the captaincy as just wearing the armband. I see it as being an extended version of what we are as a staff. And he's accepted that. I had a long chat with him before, and he don't just say I want you as captain. I had a long chat with him beforehand just to say, look, this is what it want. Do you want to do it? And he jumped at the opportunity. So we're delighted to offer him the captaincy, and I'm delighted he's accepted it.